Hey guys, Big Hoss 762 out at the range with my Sig P220 45. This is a West German model, made in 1992. Originally, this gun had a spur, more of a spur hammer on it, and I didn't realize it at the time, but Sig updated a lot of the internals in order to fit these slim grips on. I really wanted the slim grips, right? Turns out like half the guts in a 1992 model won't work with the slim grips. On this one, and the older style spur hammer does not work with that new style of strut. So I had to replace the hammer, and to replace the hammer you gotta do. So I ended up putting a short reset trigger kit in this one as well. You'll also notice I cut down on the slide release on that one because my thumb kept riding on it. I could never get the slide to lock back on an empty mag, so I cut it way down, and now the slide locks back like it's supposed to, although the slide lock lever is almost unusable, but that's okay. You just slingshot the slide and it goes forward, no problem. So anyway, I got some Tula ammo, and I got some Federal aluminum case here. Going to try out like I mentioned, this is a West German Sig P220, manufactured in 1992. The significance of the West German is that in later years, when production came to the States on some of these guns, quality slipped off a little bit, and so a lot of guys prefer the older West German guns. I mean, I don't know how much of that is true as far as the quality is concerned, but the West German ones are a little bit more sought after. Anyway, yeah, so this is a West German one. If you don't know, SIGs are generally decock only, which means there's no manual safety, which kind of appealed to me. So I prefer not to have a manual safety, especially on a heavy double action, single action trigger like this. So you notice this is your takedown lever. That's your slide release there that I cut down. That's normally quite a bit larger than that, but my thumb was always riding on it. This is your decock lever. So there's your hammer cocked, and you just, let me reach around here. So this is your decock lever here. You pull down on that, and it lowers the hammer anymore. So there's that, and then there's your slide lock. Disassembly. Boom. And then it disassembles just like any other. You take your recoil spring out, barrel pops out, clean it just like normal. And then bam, goes right back together again. It is a single stack, by the way. These are 7-round mags. They make 8-round flush fit mags and then extended 10-round mags. A little bit on the pricey side. The cheapest I've seen them is $40 for Sig mags, factory Sig mags. I haven't seen any other reputable manufacturers of magazines. I'm not aware of any, so you got to go with the Sig brand if you want good magazines. And they're like $40 a piece. Not that long ago, they were $50 a piece, so that's a good thing. They're getting a little less expensive. That's a nice thing. So there you have it. Single stack, double action, decock only, 45 ACP. A lot of aftermarket support for these, but also a lot of in-house, first-party support from Sig. They got all kinds of different grips for them. You can get some fancier ones, wood and G10 and all kinds of cool stuff if you want. Hogue makes wraparound grips with the finger grooves if you got bigger hands. The later models do have rails, or on these ones you can get a bolt-on accessory rail if you want to run a light on them. So as I mentioned, I put a short reset trigger kit in this, and what that does, It doesn't make the trigger pull any lighter. I left the springs alone. I have the original springs in here and everything. So your pull is not any lighter. You still have the first double action pull. That's normal. Your trigger pull weight is about the same. Some people say it might even be like just a hair heavier. You know, not enough for me to notice without a trigger pull gauge, which I don't have, you know, so I'm just going by feel. But so anyway, the big difference that it makes, though, is there's your take-up, gun discharges, cycles, and then very, very short reset, as the name implies, short reset trigger. And then boom. The biggest reason I did it is I had to replace a bunch of parts in here anyway just to get the slim grips, because I bought the slim grips without knowing. You know, so blah blah blah. If you come across one of these older guns and it has a more pointier spur to the hammer, you know, one of the older spur style hammers, unfortunately I don't have anything to show you, but this is the current style of hammer that they make right now, and they started in the 90s sometime. The 95 model I had this hammer on it, so it was easy to put slim grips on it. I just had to change the mainspring and the strut and everything, like 3 parts. But so yeah, so if it has this kind of hammer, you can throw the slim grips on there. You only need to change a couple parts, not a huge deal. If it's got the older style, more of a spur or hook, you know, a thinner spur on the hammer, you're gonna have to go in there and just about replace all the guts practically. So, you know, if you really want the slim grips, try and find a slightly newer model. But anyway, now that I have it, now that I'm done, you know, I'm definitely happy with it. I like it. It fits my hand nicely. Even though I'm a big guy, I have medium hands, and I tend to prefer grips on the smaller side. Alright guys, so that's what I got on the Sig 220. So we'll go ahead and shoot it some more, but if you're interested in the actual build up and everything, I didn't document on that on this gun, but I have other guns that I'm going to be working on and building up. Nothing serious, just like bolt-on stuff, easy to install, anyone can do it. But if you would like to see that process, let me know. I have more guns I'm going to be working on in the future, and I'd be happy to document that whole thing if anyone's interested. Otherwise, I'll just do it and show you the end result, take it to the range, do range videos and stuff like that. But if you want to see the build-up process, let me know, and I can certainly do that. But anyway, let's get back to shooting. But there it is, West German Sig P220. Get you one.